Hello everyone, my name is Thomas and today I have an update on my new Deep Dino 2 cube. Since my last video I've created two failed prototypes of this new puzzle. Now, before you, this is the Asymmetrical Dino 2x2. You may remember it from my last video. Since the last video I've now stickered it. Now if you didn't see that video, this is a 2x2, however it has one rotating corner, like so. And there were a few things that I didn't like about this puzzle. I didn't like how easy it was to solve, and I didn't like that it wasn't completely unique. So in my last video I mentioned a deeper cut puzzle, and that's what I'm still trying to create today. So I have a few prototypes. This first one was actually designed with the core of the original puzzle right here. It uses the same core, but the edge pieces have been modified slightly, and I'll actually put those on this cube so that it turns a little bit better. Now these corners, as you can see, are a lot smaller, and then these are the new edge pieces. So the edge pieces fit in the same way as before, and then there's this small boat-shaped piece that goes in between the two. So now when you turn this corner, it's going to move this piece, but if you also turn this corner, it'll move this piece. Now, the reason why this is a failed prototype is because the pieces do not work out well in here, so that the pieces are too small. So this cube is like a Rex cube cut in half, so you might be wondering, well, what happened to the centers? Now, the problem with this prototype is that the centers are too small to actually exist. This is one of the center pieces with the support material still on it, and I can't get the support material out of there without breaking the piece. And when this puzzle would actually be assembled, the puzzle would lock up because that piece would just get stuck everywhere because it's such a small piece. Now, I can make that piece a little bit bigger by making the cut deeper. However, you see that this corner also has a very small part because of this groove here. Now, as this piece gets larger, this piece gets smaller, and because I'm just making this out of PLA plastic and not some stronger plastic like ABS, and especially since I'm 3D printing it, this is not very strong. So I really had no choice but to abandon this prototype. Okay, so after that first failed prototype, I completely started over and redesigned the whole model. So this is the new model, which also doesn't work, but it's a lot closer, so you may not be able to see from the camera, but this is actually the size of an 82mm 8x8 cube, so this is a massive puzzle. But it really had to be that way. Now, the core is actually the same size, so I didn't scale up the whole puzzle or anything like that. And what this allows me to do is, these extensions, they allow me to make this ring here out further. That means that that it's not going to need to cut in to the corners as much, so that the corner stock can be a little bit thicker and stronger. Also, because the puzzle is now 82mm, now these center pieces are a lot stronger. As you can see, this printed absolutely fine. Whether or not it will jam inside the puzzle is another thing. In my Asymmetrical Dino 2x2, I have these edge pieces, if you can see in there, that keep all of the edge pieces in place, similar to inside of a 4x4, which is the same size as the original puzzle that I made. Now, in this puzzle, I use the same idea, but they've had to be cut back. So you see these edge pieces here, they had to be cut back because things have to move through here. And that means that this center piece is wide open, and these center pieces have to hook under there, and if they're out of placement by just a little bit, they're not going to work. So with this puzzle, I basically printed out half a cube and then realized that it wouldn't work. But in that process, I had a realization that with this track that I have here, which keeps all of the pieces in their proper places and means that they won't fall out of the puzzle, that can actually be inverted. So that means that I'll be taking material out of this piece rather than the corner piece, and that means that the corner piece will be stronger, which means I can make this piece a little bit bigger, because I can make the corner smaller again so that it's just as strong as before. That means that I'll be cutting material out of this piece, but I think that'll be alright. Also, I can make this, right now this is a circular cut that's swept all around here, but what I can do is I can make that an elliptical cut so it goes into this piece a lot more, and that should hold it in place. Now, one of the things that I made during this iteration of the design is, you see these corner pieces here have this large extrusion on here that goes over the edge piece. That means that it's really difficult to pop the actual 2x2 part of this puzzle. But that was not actually the original purpose. The original purpose was because in this puzzle, when I turn it, the pieces want to stick around with the edges rather than the corners like they're supposed to. So I'm thinking, if I have this, then rather than these edge pieces being in contact with the center core and not wanting to move, then they might want to move a little bit more, and that's why I put that in. And as you saw before, here's the corner piece and here's the edge piece. Then after that, the edge pieces go right in like that, and as you can see, they line up perfectly with that right there. And then in the center here, the boat-shaped piece goes right in there. And then, of course, we have the centers, which still need some improvement. So this is prototype 2 of the design. I hope that prototype 3 will actually be successful. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for all of your support. I've now passed 10 subscribers, which may not seem like a lot, but I'm just starting out on YouTube, so that's really amazing for me. Soon to come, I have a solved video for you on the Asymmetrical Dino 2x2, which has been published to Thingiverse, so if you or someone you know has a 3D printer, you can 3D print it for free from there. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.